All right, now here's what we're going to really work on. We'll do this stuff outside, okay, at every position. I just had the D tackles doing it this morning, but it's combination blocks, right? It's talking now we're really applying everything that we have worked on, okay? I want to really strike my target, and we'll watch some game film of how this all carries over. But here's the nose right here. Here's the center, the guard. We're just really getting a reach, right? The biggest thing to focus on is your key. I want to keep this front hip square as I attack that block. Okay, I want to create separation, and then this combination block, okay, they're not going to be able to finish it. As long as I'm clued in on my key and I stay squared, I'm at great pad level throughout. Okay, so we work these all the time. You know, if we're going to play a power team or we're going to get a bunch of pulls, then we'll work power. But for us, what we see mostly throughout the year is a ton of zone. Okay, now it applies to all positions too, right? Okay, so that was the nose, guard, and the center. Now we just have our three techniques. So this is the guard, here's the tackle. Okay, they all get the same blocks. Okay, it's inside zone, staying square. Great job with the feet. It's just like the step and recover drill when we're working at 45. And I don't care about this guy. I just want to stay square, create that separation, and then what's going to happen right here if it's like inside zone flex? That cutback's coming, right? Okay, so if I play my guy, he's going to take you to the play every time. So that's the biggest thing that we really try to break, you know, habits of once they get into our plays. We've got to make sure that they're really clued in on the key that they're lined up on. Okay, perfect example. Joe's been in the program, did a good job there. This is actually a junior college transfer right here, and what's he want to do? He wants to olay that thing. This isn't good. Okay, that's not hat and hands and not staying square. He's got a really narrow stance, so we got a lot of stuff to fix. But he opened those hips, and if this offensive lineman right here, D-line, he's not going as hard as he can, but he's going to overtake you every single time if I try to olay that. There's a time and place for it. If I get really hard outside zone, you can kind of olay it a little bit. But inside zone, you got to stay square on your threat. We'll talk about that a little bit. Again, great job liking to finish up and keep his eyes up and really get him through on his heels. But great job staying square, keeping that front hip square, playing through the heels of the offensive lineman. Okay, and this one's hard to finish with the disengage, but when we have jerseys to hold on, we'll really work on once we get that separation, throwing them and finishing with a rip. Okay, so that cut back is going to fall right in your lap. So we'll do it every single way. As we go, inverted O-line, we got a lot of stuff to work on. It'll be a fun project. Playing high, see his hands are coming from underneath, not good. You got to strike those things. Keep that front hip square.
Earlier, yeah.
Okay, just do it the other way. Okay, what we also work on, do any of you guys play a G technique, 2I? A little bit? Okay, the big thing that we need to work on, it's a little different for the, you know, if this is a 3 technique, you get a guard and a tackle, and we get a reach. Okay, what we want to do is we want to build a wall. We're not so much in the, I don't want to like give up ground and show color in my gap. What we really want to do is build a wall. I don't care if I'm even head up on that guy to finish. Just drive him completely back, keep a square-toed stance as I go. But this right here is our nose, and he's in a G. So here's the center guard. This is his gap. If this center is moving, the toughest thing with him is with this run, the cutback's going to happen off his tail. So he needs to work to get flat with this combination right here. So that's the difference. That's why you kind of see him really working flat. But now when we get our 3 techniques in, okay, Joe's dressed like a WWF wrestler this morning. But I don't know what he's doing there. But we want to build a wall. Okay? When they open up, we don't really necessarily finish with a bunch of rips up the field, because if I do a good job building a wall, we don't want these guys to be robots either. If you get the cutback, fall in and make it. Okay, you did a good job ripping, but right here the run's coming. Okay, so be in a position where you can take him and get rid of it. So just really kind of talking through leverage, understanding where the run and the cutback's going to be. Okay, we'll get some game film here. All right, so kind of going through everything again. We're going to look at the backfield set when we line up. Okay, DN right here, he's saying you. Okay, we got gun offset. The run's going to you. Okay, he should be tightened down a little bit here. If you are getting zone read so that he can sit and be in a good position. Okay, when we talk about sitting, we want to be at the line of scrimmage. We want to really get to his hip, almost reach and feel for it. We don't tell him a whole bunch of stuff. We don't say cut the keep the cut, all that stuff. We just really say you have first threat off the offensive tackle's butt. That's it. Okay, so just stay square. Don't get up the field. All right, and be in a position where you can stick this foot in the ground and drive and push everything out. Okay, that's the same stuff with the agiles and stuff and sticking your foot in the ground and going. They can't hop into that thing because now that I've hopped, these quarterbacks are good athletes, especially even at your guys' level. The best guy in the field always plays quarterback. So you got to be able to react. Again, the nose really understands with that back being away that I'm going to probably get some type of combination block coming this way. So he's overemphasizing with that foot, staying square on his threat. Doesn't matter what the center's doing. Okay, good job right here. The tackle can't work the combo with the guard. He's staying square on his guy. And this is something, you know, we got to make sure that we really get this edge set before we fall in and do any of that stuff. So it was a little too early right there. Sometimes we've got caught in positions where we think it's there and then it bounces out. Make sure that we're playing all the way through the heels. Okay, so same thing, you can see a little bit. When I didn't really talk about it a ton, but if we get pistol, now our ends, you know, obviously everybody on the field has to just be under control. I have to play my threat. I don't know which way the run's going. Okay, so they're really in just kind of a healthy alignment. Nobody's extremely tight, nobody's extremely wide. Both in a position to where if I get a block to me, I can play it, or I can sit. Okay. What I hate about right here is just hopping with the feet a little bit, but it does it, you know, again, a good job of just pointing one guy. That's the biggest thing that we emphasize. Within sitting to the hip with the zone read, what our guys are really coming into right here is they want to see the hands of the quarterback. Okay, don't look at everything else. You know, those guys do a good job of riding that thing and really making sure that you're influenced and then yanking it out. Just see the football, you know, less is more when I'm sitting. Okay, just be in a really relaxed position. I'm seeing that ball. If the QB's hands are empty, now you can be a little bit more aggressive and go past the tackle's butt. Okay, if the hands are full, I'm at that tackle's butt. Now I got to stick my foot in the ground. I got to get flat. Right here, you saw on this quarterback this week, we knew he wasn't really going to run it a lot, so he's cheating probably. But you see the hands are full. Now I can be aggressive. But if they're just continuing to ride this thing out, you can't turn your hips and get yourself in a bad position. You got to just stay square. It'll let it all sort itself out. And not the best job if we're getting kind of just these, you know, laissez-faire kind of base blocks, and we don't really want to turn our hips around this guy. We want to stay square and just high stab it out. Okay, if I feel that thing and he's for sure committed inside, now we can disengage and go. But, you know, he's kind of turning his hips and getting up the field. It creates a big alley right there. All right, here's a situation. If this ends right here, he's in the 6 technique, but this is considered 2-back. Okay, we call it a pair. So what should he be telling to this open-sided end? Swipe, 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 swipe. Okay, doesn't matter where the running back's at. If it's ever 2-back, our end is going to be in a tight position. Okay, so if we get split zone, he's coming back at us. So that the wider we are, you know, it's obviously you're just kind of creating yourself and putting yourself in a bad spot because he's going to have a lot of angles. If you hide yourself and tighten down, okay, with that step, it's going to make it for a tough swipe. So he's tightened down, backs to him, good job sitting. Again, less is more, he's just chilling. Off the tackle's butt, and I just make the play. Okay, good job right now, he's playing a little high, but staying square on his guy. But that's definitely the biggest thing. We do this a ton. You know, you saw the D tackles working on the Indy. We'll sit in the gym. You know, we'll have one guy lined up, the DN working through the heels of the tackle, and I'll play kind of quarterback, and I'll make sure he's looking at the hands. And we work on this all day, just working on sitting planting his foot in the ground, pushing it flat to his help. And a good job right here by Jeff Raymond from Edgar, Wisconsin. Staying square on his guard. Tackle has to come off. Now he's in position to come back and make it. Okay, again, pistol, we got to be in a good tight position, not too wide, not too tight. Square, see the hands full, we'll make the play. It's the snowball.